Why pet dogs bark. Photo this. You're strolling in the park, minding your own service when all of a sudden a pet dog comes up to you and begins barking. You start to worry because there is no factor for this canine to be barking at you. Why is this pet barking? Pet dogs bark due to the fact that we human beings want our pet dogs to bark. For many years our domestication process and selective breeding have actually allowed our canines to develop their barking capabilities. Wolves do not bark, so through genetic engineering and the selective breeding process, dogs nowadays have the ability to maintain juvenile qualities. This is through the procedure known as neoteny. Human beings have picked to keep the infantile qualities of wolves like big heads, flat faces, large eyes, and of course the ability to communicate, barking. Barking was additionally developed in canines in order to frighten burglars or to help the master out, i.e. on farms to assist in gathering the sheep. Many canines merely bark to communicate, to get attention, or just to show their excitement. Training and way of life are very important to consider teaching the canine how to interact with its master. Pet dogs are extremely social animals. Wolves themselves always take a trip in packs, are generally never ever alone. Bringing a canine into your household is generally like bringing a wolf into a pack. It becomes a part of the household. Attempt not to leave it alone, otherwise it will feel as if it was abandoned by the pack. Pet dogs resemble having a child in your house. They require love, attention, and somebody to be there to take care of them. Like people, they need a companion to bloom. Meeting your dog's emotional requirement for companionship and play will permit the two of you to form a strong bond together. Sometimes having a second pet dog in your home can decrease the barking and lessen the loneliness. Although this may be gratifying at some times, it can likewise be a discomfort. Your best option would be to make the most of the training of your pet when it decides to bark. Often having two pet dogs may cause havoc due to the fact that they may teach each other to bark more. From the example above, pet dogs who bark at people are trained in a specific method. Whatever boils down to how the owner trains their pet dog. If you reward the canine for barking, then the pet will comprehend that it's a good thing to bark. If you do not reward the pet dog for barking, the pet will comprehend that it's a bad thing to bark. If you are training your canine to end up being a guard dog, often their barking can be very selective and discriminating with particular people. Often they may simply bark at anything they see. It is necessary to train these pets by developing their intelligence level and how they analyze different events. Dogs who simply bark because of activity or excitement are reasonably difficult to remove. The majority of the time these pets are uninformed of their barking and in turn, end up being a procedure that is tough to remove. You need to turn to a canine fitness instructor who teaches the pet dog to debark. Debarking can be rather inhumane due to the fact that the canine is trained to let out a low, scratchy bark that cannot be spoken with more than a few feet away. If you think about the process of debarking your pet, you must weigh the pros and cons. It can be useful in the sense that your dog will no longer be the irritating canine on the block who barks at anything he sees, but may be a problem if the pet remains in threat. As an owner, you would like to know where the area of your dog is if it was at risk.